Yeah, looks great. If you can raise your voice a little bit, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone. So this is workshop for Python. So first me, I'm Diljit Singh. So I'm currently in my third year of SGNE program at Shedden. So I worked as a developer at startup, medium company and large enterprises. Today I will present this workshop. We'll go over Python. So what's like Python's language, the syntax, how you can code, how can you write variable, data type, command, operator, collection, control statement, and more in our workshop. So start. So what is Python? So Guido van Rossum is a Dutch programmer who built Python. So Python, he started working in somewhere in late 1980s. It was first listed in 1991 as a Python 0.9.0. Since then, Python is now at this moment is the one of the most popular language. So I can show. So Toby's index, like they simply try to, so every month they simply search for the most popular language. What is the most popular language at this moment? Right now, in February, Python has become the most popular language in the world. Last year it was third, now it's on one. It's more popular than Java, C, every language now. It's the most popular language in the world. So back. So now it's the most popular language in the world. It is used in web application. So you can build web application mostly server side with Python. There's like framework like Flask that you can use in game development. So you can use something called Pygame, a framework to build games. Data science, mostly to extract the data and make sense of data. Machine learning, how machine learn by themselves. So Python has like many use cases. You can use it at anywhere you want. Python is designed for readability. So one of the big feature of Python is actually the creator of Python simply wanted to build a language that was very easy to learn, like English. Like anybody can simply write the code very easily. They don't need to like have any knowledge of programming. They still can go and like start coding. That's why he like built Python as like very easy. Its whole the code is very simple. You can easily read the code. Also, it use space and other stuff in this syntax. So this is Python, the world most popular language in the world at this moment. So yeah. So we'll start with coding Python. So there are two ways through which you can start coding Python. The first way is actually to install on the local machine. So if you use like Windows or Mac, you can go into command prompt and type Python underscore version. If you have Python on your local machine, you can see so which one is you have the version. You can type simply py and start coding here. So let's say by like download the local machine. But for this workshop, I will use a web-based IDE program Viz. So like we can here type the code, click run, we print the code on the web. We don't install a Python. So we use this one for our workshop. Right. I'll send a link in the chat. You can open the ID or the compiler. So it's like very easy to use. Simply write the code here, run, it run the code. You don't install anything, very easy. So first we're gonna start with variable. So variable are like a container, like a way to store data. In Python, it's very easy to like define a variable. We use variable name, value. So here, let's go. Let's start here from here. So I'm going to define my first variable. I'm going to call it my var variable. Again, it's simply a way to like store some data. Like you have a number like 4, to store it here. Now I'm storing number 4 in this variable. Now if you want to print this on here, I write print and then my var. We see I define a variable, a name equal some value. Dn. I call this function print. I pass the value here. I will run. You print the value here. So here I just simply store the value in a variable, define a variable, and store the value. Here I print it on my console. You can write anything here. You can write number. You can write a string like hello world. Run it. You can go by a decimal like 4 decimal. You can write like anything here. So again, simple syntax, variable name equal some value. Value could be a number, value could be a string, or it could be anything, and that's it. So this is how you define a variable here in Python. So same container for data, variable name equal to value is how you define a variable in Python. Example, a number for or simply a word if you want to store a word. Then we use something called a snake casing. So let me go here. So the multiple way like to write this variable name here. You can write maybe like myvar uppercase. The everything's uppercase. Myvar. You can write maybe in a Pascal. In a Pascal, it's like this one. In Pascal, we will take simply the first word, capitalize the first character, then take the second word, capital this way. So like, so in English we write this way: my space var. In Pascal, we simply combine it. We don't have space, and every word I use like with my var object. Every new word should its first letter should be capital. My var object. You can write this way. This is Pascal. In camel casing, we simply start with lowercase with my where. After every would be uppercase. Every word we use, the first letter should be uppercase. Now again, object name. This is how we use Python. The like how the default name casing we use Python is actually snake casing. We use this way. So I have like my where. So English it should be my where space. Simply we use underscore for space here. My where space. If I want to add a new word, I should type underscore. Then and the other word I want. Yeah. So simply we split a word by underscore each time. This is sneak casing. So that now let me again print it. So again use it here. Run. Sneak casing. This we use. Each word should be lowercase and they should be separated by a underscore. This is sneak casing in Python. The official documentation in Python a preferred snake casing over any other casing. You can use like whatever you want. You can also like type maybe myware in uppercase and click run. It will run. So like the casing is not necessary in any language, but it's actually sometimes preferred to write in one casing. Here we use snake case. We start by writing everything in lowercase and splitting by a underscore. So that's Python. Use snake casing here. So we don't have to like specify a data type in Python. No, we don't. You don't need to. So like so let's go to Java. So like in Java, so here I would find like a string or whatever you want, string a equal to something, right? H here. So like C++, C, Java, C sharp, they use this thing in which we need to describe a data type first, then assign a value. In Python, it's not necessary. Simply define a variable name equal some value. So if I go here, I have some, I can type this thing with type. So this is a method type or a function, simply a function. So we simply see the type of the variable. So my var is equal to some float value. It's equal to decimal value. I said type, I said run float. So Python can like it can automatically can define that it can automatically like assign a type by itself. In Java, I have seen like define string a something. Python is not necessary. Describe the type. The interpreter by itself will see what like independent of value, it will assign the type. Java, write the keyword, variable name equal to something, Python knows as simply variable equal to something. During the runtime, when they execute the code, they simply see the C is float. So they give that data to that variable. So that's how it works in Python. Variable name equals some value. Type checking is more like little automatic. The type checking is actually happen to runtime. They automatically simply assign a type to the variable. Now the comment. I also like write more. I was like writing everything else later. So first comment. So comment I used to comment I used to explain Python code. So simply you can write a comment. So they actually just simply write a return in a way that a human being can like read them and can understand the code. They're not meant for compiler interpreter. They're meant for a human being. In Python, simply use hash. After after hash, everything's a comment. So I go here. So I want to say I want to explain what this program do. I will write I am defining a variable and printing it. This is a comment. Simply we start with the hash. Then write anything we want. The interpreter simply ignore it. It doesn't like do anything with it. So this is how you define argument in a Python. You can also, if you don't want to print, if you also like don't want any code to execute, simply write hash in the front. That's also a command. So this is single line command. The multi-line. So there's no syntax for multi-line. The way is actually simply you can write hash and hash and hash. Simply you can write maybe line 1, line 2, line 3. So like other way, simply like so in like Java something we have like one slash or maybe multiple, but here simply you do like type hash again and again. That's one more, actually that's one more way. So if I like I write a string here like hello anything, let it be here string. I click run. Like the compiler or interpreter simply ignore this value. So any string which is not assigned to any variable get ignored. So they also in some way they also can use the command. So I can write hello. This is a command. So this is like other way like how programmers sometimes use command in Python. You simply use the string. They simply like define a string, don't assign a value. Simply write it here and click run, execute it. It's not error. It's not seen as error. So if I go in Java, I do like the same thing here. I can maybe write hello here. I run. I get error here. So Java doesn't understand like what is this thing, what does it mean. But in Python, the interpreter simply ignores it. So this one more way. If you want to like if you like want to write a multi-line, you can use this thing. For simply type 6 double quote. So the 6 double quote, go to center 3. You can write here. So this is a multi-line line 1 line 2. So yeah. Another way to like recommend. So like by default we have only one way by default, that's hash. One hash, that's recommend. We don't have a multi-line, so most programs simply write a string. They simply write this way. Why do they do this way? 3 quote, 3 double quote, 3 double quote, write any line here. So like see the way that you can go anywhere you want. You can simply either can just stick to the hash, or you can go this way. So write a string. So same. We're going to find a multi-line command by writing hash for each line. So each line has a hash or a string later. Simply write a string here. Don't assign to any variable. Write a string. String one, string two. I will run it. There's no error. They get ignored by the compiler. So that's how to write a command. Now variable name. So I should go here and yeah. Plus yeah. So in Python, the variable first is to start with the letter or underscore. Letter simply mean alphabet. You can start with M, like any alphabet, uppercase, lowercase, or underscore. I can write underscore here, underscore here. Click run, run. So any variable should either just start with the alphabet, like ABC, anything, uppercase, lowercase, or add underscore. But you can't write a variable with start. You can start a variable with the number, like one again. Click run. It's error. You can't start with a number or digit. Now you can start with any other like special character, like after you star here again. And you can't. So every variable should start with the letter alphabet or underscore. And moreover, you also can't use like digit, any number, or any other special character. And apart from it, yeah, so same. Start with letter underscore. As I said, can start with number. The third thing. So a variable name can only contain alphanumeric character underscore. So what it means is actually, so I know that I can't like start with the star, right? So whatever, like I write a star here and star here, you get an error again. So in Python, the variable can only contain alphanumeric character and underscore. So alphabet and number and underscore. That's it. Any other character, it could be anything. It could be also maybe a slash. They are like give you error for it. That's how it work. So again, same. You need to start with a letter, alphabet or underscore. Can't start with number. Also, you can't write any number apart from alphabet, number, or underscore in a variable name. These three are only accepted in a variable. And last, they're case sensitive. So simply it means that here, like age, they contain the same character, AGE, all three. But you can see the first one is lowercase. The second one has one uppercase. The first letter is uppercase. Lowercase is the whole uppercase. They're the three different variable. So if I go here, if maybe if I like type my var here and give it 4, run it. So here to get happen, I store this value in variable, then change to 4, print it, I got a 4. If I maybe type like my, now they have the same letter, same number of letter and the same letter. Only difference is we have one uppercase here, it's lowercase. Now I print it, run. For Python, they're different. This thing is only this one. So like all lowercase variable names here only. If I write any uppercase here, it will see as a different variable. Even like they have same number of character and same character, they will seem different. So that's why it's a case sensitive language. So uppercase and lowercase character are not same; they're different. So that's yeah. So that's it. So here we can see the right name. So and all name here use underscore, alphabet or number. That's it. None of them start with a letter or any special character by default. The same. Wrong number they start with a number. So it's wrong. Then here it is hyphen. Hyphen we can only use alphabet, number or underscore in the variable name. We can't use hyphen. So that's the rule. Start with letter, alphabet, underscore. You can't start with number. Then you can only contain alphabet, number, or underscore. In the end, it's so case sensitive. So if you have like the same name like age and age, a lowercase age and uppercase age, they are different. They will be like treated as a different variable in the Python. So that's variable name. Now I will continue. So like Python has like a lot of stuff in it. So if you like you want to assign multiple value in a one line, you can write this way. So I will I maybe I will write here. So let me say you want to give three values to three variables in one line, you can go this way: A, the first variable; B, the second; third, C. And give three value here with 1, 2, 3. A, like A got 1. So in the print, you can also like type comma B, comma C. It will print everything now. ABC. As I write comma, so with comma I get one space by default. So it's for it A, print A, then comma, so one space, print B, a comma, so print one space more than 3. So this is how it printed. So here, this line, this way, I give A 1, assign A variable the 1 value. I give B second variable second value. I give C third value. Almost stuff like if I like type 4. So now I have like 4 value. I have only 3 variable. What will happen? Run. I get error. So it says there are too many values and to unpack. So there are 4 values. We only have 3 variable. So this 4 value, we don't know what will happen to it. So this is error. And if like I type one more, maybe D. Now I have more variable, less value. Type run. Same. We don't have enough value. We have less. We have 3 value only, but we have more variable. So yeah. So that's why. So whenever you try to assign multiple value to multiple variable one line, try to have same number of variable and values at the same in the same line. If we like have 3 variable, we should have 3 values. It's necessary. If we like add one value here or here, we get an error. So that's a way. So this is a way to mostly assign like multiple value to multiple variable in one line. Now if you like we want to assign the same value to the multiple variable in one line. So this one. So I would say I simply want to assign like 1, this value to all 3. If I try to run, it will not happen. So one way is actually simply write this thing. Now it means A is equal to B, B equal to C, but A equal to 1. So A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, C equal to 1. So in this way, I assign a single value to multiple variable in one line. I have run 1, 1, 1. All 3 have 1, 1, 1 value. So this is another way to simply assign same value to multiple variable in one line. Again, use print function to print output. Now data type. We know that. So in Python, we don't need to like assign, or we don't write data type when we define a variable or assign a value. It's like dynamic type checking here, but still we have like a lot of type, like how Python see the data type. So in Python, data type simply are used to define the type of data a variable has. Like if I store 1, that's an integer. If I store like maybe a word, that's a string. So data type define type of data we have, a variable has, and what type of operation. Like we have a number 1 and 2, we can add it, we can subtract it. So in number we can do arithmetic operation. So that type also define the type of data we have, also define type of operation we can apply to it. So that's data type. So the most used data type in Python are this one. For text, this is a string. This is a string. So a equal to say hello. So this is a string. And if I want to see the type, you can write it. I can write both. Type a. So I'm going to print a, the hello, the value. Then I'm going to print the type of a. This is a string. So anything in double quote or single quote or string, I can also type like I can also write in single quote as well. And it will string. The string simply is a like collection of letter or alphabet or character. That's a string. Whatever character we have, we can define a string either by single quote or double quote. Then if you like find the data type of any variable, simply type, then pass this value a. It will return it will return the type of data we have. So this is a string, numeric, int, float, and complex. Now second. So let's look at this one. Yeah. Int. So int is simply a number. Int is simply a number. It doesn't have a decimal. So int could be 1, 2, 3. It's an int. Run. 1, 2, 3. It's an integer. So int is it could be positive and negative. It also could be negative if you want. Negative. Int is a number which could be positive or negative. Simply doesn't have decimal. So decimal is simply like decimal place is more like the dot we have here. So integer doesn't have a decimal. But if you want to like describe something in fraction or decimal over that stuff, you can use float. If you like, I use dot decimal 66. I run it. Now it's float. So integer could be positive and negative, but doesn't have decimal. Float could be positive and negative, but it has decimal. There's a main difference between integer and float here. So that's float and integer. Then there's a complex. So complex is more like ig run. So complex is actually used in mathematics. So complex numbers simply have real part and imaginary part. So imagine, so I have it here in a number here, complex. So in a complex, so simply have imaginary part, which is actually in some sense is simply a square root of a negative number. So in math, imaginable is that number which we can't define in real on real prod line. Square root of any negative number is imaginary. Is imaginary. Math is something like considered called iota. So I, its value is also equal to -1. The square root of -1 actually. Square root of -1. So complex were added to the Python because complex is a very necessary. So we program we never use this thing actually ever. Imaginary number, we never use it. We never use like square root of 1, -1 ever. But with mathematics, people who like solve math theorem and engineering, they use this a lot. So that's why complex were added to the Python. So this J stands for this thing. It's actually square root of I, J. So either you will use it multiple time complex in Python or you never use it. So mostly it's like math, so most people simply don't use it. Integer float are mostly used. Complex. Let's go in here. So string, we know this Boolean. Again, Boolean could be A equal to true. So that's a Boolean. B equal to false. It simply have two. Simply it has two values, true or false. If I go print, I can print A. I can print the type of A I have. I print B, the type of I have. Run it here. So bool simply have two value, true or false. So they are keyword. I'm over to start with capital T. They start with capital. Many language like C, they all use lowercase. They start with like small t. With true, it's lowercase. F is lowercase. Python simply use uppercase here. So it's true, it's false. Simply used for conditions such as if 10 is bigger than 9, so click run, get true, it's bigger than 9. If I say it's 9 bigger than 10, get false. So they're simply used to like describe a condition or describe an expression in true or false, two values. That's Boolean. The sequence. So this I will talk later in the slides. So they are actually or they are in some form of collection. So they can store multiple value in the same. Like they can store multiple value. So like now I need to like define two variable here to store one value. With list, tuple, range, and dictionary, I can store multiple value in just one variable. Like in A, I can store like lot of value here, not just one value, multiple value. So that's another data type. Use type to simply find the data type of variable. Next one, number. So what a number? So there are three numeric type. Again, I talk about the int. So let's talk about like more. It could be positive or negative, without decimal, and unlimited length. So so actually, so in every language, C they have a like a limit for integer. Like it could be 22 billion, and that's it. You can't know more than that. In Python, they never like describe a limit on integer ever. So like it doesn't have any limit. Can go like as far as it can go. So like in Java we have long. So in Java the integer can only store I think it can store 16 byte. Longest store 32 byte. But in Python integer can store unlimited byte. It has no limit. But still like if I'm using this thing, so this interpreter, even like Python can store like unlimited byte, so mostly, but this interpreter has a limit on its memory. So like there would be a limit. So by default, like simply in the language, they never describe a limit. So you can store how much data do you want, but still we actually use like a compiler interpreter to compile the code. They use hardware, so hardware also have some limit. So sometimes you will run into limit at one point. There is limit of the hardware, not of Python. Like Python never describe any limit. Like the integer can't be like more than 22 billion. They never describe it anywhere. It's simply that this compiler they have limit. They have like some memory limit. With Java, C they describe that an integer can't be longer than this much billion of number. In Python, there's no limit. Integer simply has no limit. Example same x equal to 3. It's integer. A float. Same positive negative as told before. It contain one or two more decimal. Here, same example. Complex. So number which has a real part and an imaginary part. So real part is simply a number 31. This j is simply the square root of a negative number. They can't be described. So they think it's imaginary. They mostly used by like in math or engineering. They use it more. Not program. They don't use program like does it. They don't use it that much. But in math, it's like used pretty much everywhere. Again, you can convert one type to another type int, float, and complex. Let's now convert. So let's start. Again, a. Let's write a as a integer. B. I will take this integer and make it a float. Yes, float a. So to convert a integer value to float, simply write the constructor or the name of the thing, the method, and pass the value. I will try run. So a is developed as an integer. B has a decimal, so it's a float. So this way you can convert integer to float. If I also like convert to complex one, complex for run, same integer, but B is a complex. It has a like now 12 is the real part, so we don't have like the square root of negative number, so it's 0 here. But still I describe it 0g. This is one way. The same. Then maybe now I have now. I will take a float. I would convert float to int. That's a float. 12 to 3. Run it. So a is a float. We got it. But when I convert a float to integer here, says integer doesn't support decimal. So they removed this thing. Now we only have 12. So this value got deleted. When this float was converted to integer, they took out the decimal value away. This one way. Now let's make it complex. Right here, float, then the complex. His j here. So AB. Now let's work with complex j. So one thing about complex is actually let's type it down. You can never like convert a complex to an integer or float. So complex like they use imaginary number. Imagine like a square root of negative one. They can't be like expressed in like some form in the real form. So like there's no theorem like to make sense of it. So you can't convert imaginary to integer or even float. You can convert integer or float to complex, but you can never convert complex to integer or float. So here you convert one from the other. but you can never convert complex to any other number type. Integer can get float or complex. Float can become integer and complex. But complex number can never become integer or float. So this is data type. Integer, negative, positive, doesn't have a decimal. Float, negative, positive has a decimal. Complex has a real part and imaginary part. Real part is like 31. J is an imaginary part. J is simply a square root of a negative number. This is a data type for number. Now for string. So same thing could be, you can define it with this thing, like with double quote or with a single quote. Hello. I should have the same thing again. So same. Double quote, single run. So they both string. So if we like to find with double quote, it will be a string. Single quote, it will be a string. So it's like you way you want, you can define any way you want. In Python, string is done by single quotation mark or double quotation mark. They're same. This string is same as this string. Use length the function to find length of a string. So if I go here, let me see, I want to find like the how much letter I have in the string. So if I use length len a, same here for b as well, length b, click run, you get it. So hello is a string. It contains five letter he or five character HELLO. Seems here 5. So maybe let's write some number here. Click run. Now this is hello, so it will be 5. This one is 10. So HELLO 5. Then space is also character. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10. 4 number, 5 letter, and 1 space. So 10. So this function is used to find the length of a string. Just in and out to find if I give a character. So this one, in or out in. So let's make it easier now here. So I'm going to say I want to find if I have H, this letter in this A or not. I will write H in A. Run. True. So it's simply to find if it contains H letter or not. Okay. Now I will type he, He. We have it. Run. Again true. Simply write any phrase here that in A. Simply mean that do we have this phrase, this string in the string or not? We have He in the string or not? If we have it, true. If not, false. Also, is more, is also case sensitive. So if you like type H, lowercase h, run false. Even like I have H here, but it's uppercase. This is uppercase, this is lowercase. So it doesn't match. You can find anything like you, even like let's try with B. Try 1 1 1 1. True. You might type like only 1 1 1, like only just one, run true. If it like it can find that a phrase in the string, if it is true, if not false. Simply a phrase in B, a phrase in variable. So this in, this is also not in. So not in. So not in simply mean, so this phrase like it's not included in B or not. So I say if one is not included in B, it's true or false. Click run is false because we have one. I type two. Like in B we don't have any two. We only have H, L, O and one. These are only we have. If I type two, so if we click run, I get true. Because 2 doesn't belong in B, or 2 this phrase is not included in B. So this is again a way to find if we have a phrase in a string or not. Simply in or not in. In, if we have a phrase, true, if not false. Not in is opposite. If we don't have a phrase in B, true. If you have it, false. So that's, we use in or not in to find if a given character or phrase is present in a string or not. Then we have to call input this method. This is usually like get input in the console. So let me say, yeah, here I want to get the input from the user. So simply type input. It's simply a function to get the input. I type the string here. What do I show? Like enter here. I type a and type I get. So I run. First, the interpreter compile the first language. So first line, so for the first line, the first line. So interpreter compile the first line. It means that take the input with this string. It's show me enter here. I will type like 22, 22 space. That's it. Like it show me the output the value 22. I will try again with the yep. Should do this. So here input is used to get input from the user. Type input the function. In it pass any like a string, simply a string you want to show to the user. I type the enter here. After I enter here, I type enter here. The it assigned a value to a this variable. Then I print the a here. Then print the type here again. This is a real line by the way. This is a real line. So it's actually a way to get the input. If I run it again, maybe one here. But it also like always like take the input in string actually. So no matter like what I type here, I type one and like I type one, store the value one in the a. Then I try to find a type of a. What is a? The type. I get string. So this function always return a string. It also like give a string in the return value. So even like I go here, I type maybe a floor. Click here, get a string. So always the any value we use to get the input from the user, it will go in a string. This input method get this value, a float, but I convert to a string. Then give the string to this variable. Then we would print this variable here. Then we would find a type, this a. This is actually a way to like get input from the user from the console. So that's for input, the string. Then so a way to access the string. So let's go here and maybe let's type something large. So maybe welcome to workshop. Yep. So this is a string. So let me say I want to like access maybe the first letter here. The string is some ways like a collection of character or an array of character. So in that way we can actually access each value from it. So in string, the first letter, the position of first letter is 0, second is 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So if you like want to get the first letter of any string, type a 0. It means the first is so 0 here's the position of the first letter. So if you find the first letter is this one. Right? I get the first one. Now maybe let's get the second. It's 0. The first position is 0. The second would be 1. So now I will try to get the second letter from the string E. Then we can go on A to L and maybe A 3. 0 is for the first, 1 for the second, second for the third, third for the fourth. You can go on and on. So this way to access a string. This you use the variable name, square bracket, then simply enter the position of the element. You can get it here. Same, use a square bracket to access element of a string. For example, to get a third element. So 0 for first, and then 1 for second, 3 for the fourth, and so on. So so this like so this was actually like it take too much time like to get like each one. It has something called a slag syntax. That will say, I want to get this whole word welcome. It's fun. It's just one line. Like I just want to like type only one line to get the whole word. I don't want to like get what I want to go like this way, A10, like first element, second element this way. I simply want like type only one, like only one in one syntax. There's a syntax for it. So you can use a slicing. So you can actually simply slice a chunk of string from a string. Simply, if I type 0, the first this thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you select this thing, so the first element you want to go from, then end element 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is here actually. 7 is a space. In Python, if you write this thing, the first letter we want and the end letter we want, and it's not included, and you run, you get a whole, you can get like the whole chunk from it. So it work this way. What I recommend, simply write the first element 0, then a colon, then last element like 7. It will give you 0 element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0 is included, 7 is not included. You go from 0 to 6. So here I found 0 to you. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You go to 6. This is a 6th letter. 7th was space. 7 is not included. Simply so the first element is included, the last is not included. I use the syntax. First element, colon, second, last element. It will give you all this element within. Simply it's like a way to slice a string. So if let me say I want to get, so if I like want to get maybe 2, this thing. So I notice this is 7, so this is 8. So it should be 8. It would be 8, 9, and it's a space. So 10. Click run. I got a 2. Now it was 8 colon 10. So it gave me 8 and 9. 8 is included, 10 is not included. So inclusive, exclusive. This would be included, this excluded. So this way to slice like a slice a string. Then maybe this is one more way. So let's say I want the whole this string. Welcome to the whole. Either I can start from 0, click run, it'll give me it. Or if you like, if I simply enter nothing, simply colon, last element, click run, it'll give me the same thing. So if I add nothing here, nothing, colon, like 10, it will give you, it will go from the first element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and also 9. So if you like enter nothing, if you go from the first element with 0, then maybe another way, I want this thing, my workshop. So now that this one's I think 10, right? So I can type 10 here, maybe 11, yeah, 11. I could go this way, run my workshop. So this one, what I did is 11 start from here, my M is at 11 fusion. Click here. So it I type 1 or 11 and nothing here. For it now it went from 11 position to the end. So 11, 12, 13, like to the end. So it's a other way. Other you can include the first as last element. First element is included, last not included. So for 0 to 7 mean 0 to 6 actually. Start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Never go to 7. 8 to 10, only 8 and 9. Simply include the first element, exclude the last element. And if you don't want to, if you don't want to simply a write the first, like you don't want to write 0 something, you can simply leave it. So when you leave the first element, start from the start. It starts from 0. So here it means the start element, the start letter or element. This is this thing 0. Start from 0. Go to this thing, mostly 9. Then if you leave the last element here from here, it simply means go to the end. I type 11, 11 over here, my m. It went from my to the end of workshop. So this syntax to simply slice a string from a string. Simply taking a string out from a string. It's a pattern. So same stuff. You can return a range of characters by using a slice syntax. Specifies the start index or the start element. The position of start element is inclusive, like it's included. And end index. The position of the end element is excluded. Spread by the colon to simply return a part string. So simply here. 1. It may start from the index 1, or simply the index 1 would be the second element. Start from index 1, go to 3. It will go from 1 to 3. Again here, start index, the last index, start from 0, go to 6. Like it will never go to 7. It will go like less than 1. So including excluded. If you like write nothing here, it will start from the start, from the first index. If you like write nothing again here in the for the last element, it will go to the end. So that's the slice syntax in a string. Then the string continues. So if you like to combine two string, you can use this thing plus the addition operator. You can add two string together to combine it. So let's out and simply write something here. So if you want to like combine two string, you can simply write the first string, then plus symbol, then the one more string. Click around. It got added. So you can combine two string by using plus symbol or addition operator. That's a way to like to combine two string. But there's one more thing. You can't combine you can't combine string with a number. You can only can concatenate, like you only can combine two string. You can't combine an integer string. So like in Java you can do it. In Java, in C++ you can do this stuff. You can combine a string with a number. But not here. You can't combine a string with a number. So to get from it, to combine string and number, we can use something called a format method. So how do you use a format? So I want to write 1 in the last. I will use something called dot format here 1, and here I need to write something like this. So you need to write for a string. After write a string, where you want like put the number, simply write this curly braces here. Then use this method called format. Write the number here 1. I can maybe like type 4 here. Then I can type 1, 2, 3, and 4. Done. So yeah, we're going to work a shop. So 1 go here, 2 go here, 3 here, 4 here. So this is a way like to combine a string with the number. And one more thing, if you want one, you actually like want to write 1 like maybe at last here, type 0 here. So this thing So they actually pass in with a position actually. So this is actually 0. So this 1, the element 1 has index 0 or position 0. The element 2 has index 1. This has 2 and 4. So if I write 0 here, and maybe I write a, so let's write, yeah, 1, 2, and 3. Here first I have like welcome 1, 2, 3. Now I like write a position here. So this 1 will go here, 2 will go here, 3 will go here. I click run. You can see it now. So I said the first element here should go at the last here. Then the second element should go here. S2, third, it was this thing, go here. Last element should be at the front. So here. So this is a way to like combine a string with the integer or with the number. You can't combine like by default with the addition operator. You need to use this method called format. Then you can write this stuff. You can define position if you want. If you don't define it, like it will get by default index. So it's like again a way to format a string, or simply to add combine string with the number. See, the format takes argument, format them and place them in a string. Here placeholder this are. So here my string I have this apple. Format get here. Now escape character. So to insert a character illegal in a string, use a escape character. So illegal simply mean let's format this thing. Yeah. Let me say I want to like put double quote on workshop. So run. Like I want to put double quote on my workshop. So if I like it this way, workshop here and here. Like now I have double quote and one more double quote. Run. I get error. So for the like the interpreter, so now it see this way. See that we have one string, then we have one more string here. But I wanted to put double quote in a double quote. So I wanted a double quote inside a double quote. But for the interpreter, it's more like there are two double quoted or there are two string here. So to make it work, we use something called backslash here, and backslash here. Now click run. Get double quote here. So simply to use any illegal character, use backslash then the character. So here, escape character is a black slash followed by a character you want to insert. You can set like this way. Backslash, double quote, backslash, double quote. Actually, like you can enter single quote, line, or more backslash. So this way to insert like single quote. At this way if you want. However, if let me make one more variable here. So when you use like single quote, you don't need backslash. Actually, you can use see one more see. So whenever you use double quote inside the single quote or single quote inside the double quote, you can use it. So here. So when I use double quote on outside, I can use single quote inside. When I use single quote on outside, I can use double quote inside it. So let's print everything here, B and C. Done. So here, first one, welcome to my workshop. Here, the second, double quote outside, I put single quote inside a double quote. So here, it work. Last one, I put single quote outside and inside I put a double quote. Here, workshop. So you can use a single quote inside a double quote or double quote inside a single quote. But if you want like the same, a single quote inside a single quote or a double quote inside a double quote, you need a backslash. So here, if I want to use double quote inside a double quote, I need to use backslash. Same say like if I want to use single quote inside a single quote, a backslash, and a single quote. Run. Same. Again, use run double quote inside double quote, and the last one, again use single quote inside a single quote. So this is simply like way to use a character like the syntax of a language. They don't allow it. They give you a syntax error. So you can use it by using a backslash. So this is a escape character, a backslash followed by some character you want to insert. Single quote, new line, and backslash. This is a string. So that's pretty much string. Now the boolean. So boolean is the same thing. It can store two value, true or false. We can evaluate any expression in Python and get one order like true or false. So here, like 10 is greater than 9 or 10 is bigger than 9. Yes, true. Is 10 equal to 9? False. Is less than 9? False. So either you can simply give this way, simply write true. This is a keyword true, or you can give a statement maybe 10 is bigger than 9. Both have true value, true and true. So here I pass simply the value true, but here I made a expression that 10 is bigger than 9 or not. So it's bigger than 9, so I get a true here. So this is how it works. So Boolean has some two value true or false. Also the class for Boolean may be set for a type a, the type e. True from bool and bool. They are both Boolean. Simply true or false. An expression can be evaluated to true or false. So that's Boolean. Operator. So now operators simply a way to perform some logic on some data. Operator used to perform operation on variable values. So let's go here, and yeah, 1 plus 4 plus 1. So operation is a way to perform some a calculation on data. 4 and 1 are operand. So here the operation will perform some addition operation. We add into number. 4 and 1 will be operand. They are the value we're gonna perform the operation addition. Plus symbol is actually a operator. It define what type of operation we should perform. Plus define that we should perform addition. This is operator. Then operand, so and it perform that operation on this operand 4 and 1. So click here, run. There's 4 plus 1, 5. So any value we use, they are operand. The symbol also is an operator. Operator simply define the type of operation we can perform, addition, subtraction, whatever we want. 4, 1 are operand. So operator used to perform operation on the variable and values. The most used operator in the Python are this one, arithmetic. So first, arithmetic operator, plus, minus, multiply, divide, modulus, and lot. Let's try here. So plus 5, we did get it. Now subtraction. Yeah, we get it. 4 minus 1, 3. Let's perform multiplication. So multiply 4 to 1, 4. Divide will be 4 again. So when we divide, we get like float. Division happen in float. Then maybe we can perform modulus. So simply it's to find the remainder we have. So when 1 can divide 4, so that was like when 1 tried to divide 4, the remainder was 0. So therefore we got 0. We have one more. Right. So let me show you. So this is a way, exponent is a way to like describe the power. It simply mean 4 into 4. 4 to 16. If I like type 3 here, it would be 4 into 4. 4 into 4, 16. 4 into 4, 64. 64. Exponent is simply a way to give a power simply like describe a power. So 4 has power 3. It means 4 should be multiplied by itself 3 times. This is exponent. So we have one more here. This one. So it's more like a divide in some sense. So let's start with here first. 4 to 3. Run it. I get like this number, a float, right? So like if sometimes I don't want a float, I simply want integer. I can cast it, but this is one more way. If I like use 2 time division, run it. So yeah. So this simply is actually divide and round. This is actually called a float division. So simply first divide it, 4 divided by 3. After dividing it, it's simply round to the nearest integer, nearest whole number. This is 1. So simply divide it, I get a float. I don't want like this decimal at all. I don't want this decimal. I'll type one more. It's rounded to 1. This is how it happened. So these are all three. To add, subtract, multiply, divide, modulus, exponent, and last one was float division to simply divide and do a round assignment operator. So sometimes I used to assign a value. So equal operator is assignment. So it's more like assign some value. It assign. So if I divide, I get this down. Yeah. So here it means assign 4 to A. It's an operator. It simply also like perform a calculation on data. It's assigning 4 to A. This is assignment operator. Then we have few more. If I use something like I need, yeah. If I go here, if I make one more, this. What is another assignment operator? It means A equal to A plus 2. So this operator transform to this thing. If I run, so here, first I got 4. Then I said add 2 to this 4. So it go first add 4 plus 2 6, then assign to A. This assignment operator. You also can like do a subtraction. Now I will subtract. So 4 minus 2 over 2. So here we got 4. Then said take it a 4, subtract 2, then assign the value. So we got 2. You can also do multiplication. Right. Simply multiply by a take 4 multiply by 2, divide by 2, get the modulus here 2 raised to power 2. Okay. Then divide and round. So division 2. So they are assignment operator. Simply a way they simply calculate some data and assign to the variable. Now comparison operator. They are a way to compare the value. So they return value in true or false. So here, let's go back here. Simply 4 is bigger than 2. So this is actually a comparison. I comparing 4 is bigger or not than 2. It's bigger than 2. If it's true. If I say 4 bigger than 8, false. They simply compare, then give some value, return some value. I use a lot. You can use for like equal to. So now 4 equal to 8, false. Is 4 equal to 4, true. If you use greater than, less than, also greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. If they can compare the value, they can return true or false. Comparison, the logical operator, and or not. So if I write the same thing for bigger than 2, I want one more statement here. I will use and or. Maybe 4 is bigger than 3. Now it's like this. For beginner 2, true. So I get true here. Then for beginner 3, yes, true. So I get 2 true. So I get true and true. If I get true and true, the AND will give me a true. It'll work like this way. So if I get true, I get 1. If I get 1 true, again I get 1. And AND get multiply. So this is how it happens. So true is 1. It's again 1 in binary. This is actually multiplication. 1 into 1 should be 1, which would be true. Okay, true. Now let me try here. For beginner 2, yeah, true. Is 3 bigger than 4? False. So here it would be false. Plus, yeah. Then I will go here and yeah, from 0. 1 to 0 would be 0. So you get this will become false. Become false. Simply we can do multiple statement here. I can add one more. I can actually add one more and more if I want. Simply in true or in and this operator, if every statement is true, it will be true. So say multiply, like if we have 1, 1, 1, 1, multiply together, we get 1. But if we like if we have multiple 1, if we have 1 here, then 1 again here, then 1 again here. And I'm like multiply with 0, it will be 0. And if we have all statements are true, it will be true. If not, it will be false. Or work more like in so or it's more like plus. It's more like addition. So let's do that right here. For bigger than 2, yeah, true. For bigger than 3, true. So true, yes, here, get it. So I get true here. Oh. So it will be 1 plus 1. It will be 1. So I will get true here. Run it. I got a true. If maybe I make this thing a false, 3 bigger than 4 is false. False here means 0 here. But still 1 plus 0 will be still be 1. So true again. Now or if we have like 1 anywhere, it will become 1. Like we have plus 0 plus 0. Like we have a lot of false, so 0 0. But in the end we're gonna add 1. So it will be 1. So or if any statement is true, it will be true. The and is not. So not would be different. Not. So 4 is bigger than 2. Yeah, it's true. So that's very true. It will be 1, right? Not simply opposite it. So it's 1, it'll make it 0. It is false. It's like invert. It invert this thing. So yeah, 4 is bigger than 2 is true, but not make it more, not take it true, it turn to false. It can take the false turn to true. It can invert. It can turn true into false and false into true. If I make it false, maybe yeah. 2 is bigger than 4 is false, but not to make it true. Become true. You can also be 4 is bigger than 2 is 0, but it's not. You can turn it to 1. 1 is true. So that's a logical operator. Simply a way to combine multiple statement together to get something. True or false again. Membership operator in and not in. So if I write maybe something like welcome here, here, right? I can use an in operator again as I told before. I can type like here, here, like here, in a. Simply find a string in the string. If here is like present in a, true. If not, it's false. Like if I type maybe a number, we don't have a number here. Like right, 3 in a, false. We don't have 3 in a. There is not to observe it. 3 should not be in A, right? Yeah, 3 is not in A. C. We have seen here. We don't have seen A. We actually have seen A, so false. So they're all operator. Now list. So they like array. So list are used to like store multiple value in a single variable. So here we have a list. So I can go here and make a list here. So you can just like it's like array. Like other have array. Other language have array. So Python have a list. Simply a way to store multiple value. Like I want to store like 5 number. Now I need like 5 variable, but I can use list. I can store like values in only one variable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way. So this all value in just one variable. Okay. Print it. I get it. So they're heterogeneous, so you can use anything. I can use Boolean here. I can use float here. I can use string here. So yeah. And type, the type would be here. If I type run, it's a list. So this type always like it always will be a list. Each time you describe it, it will be a list. It's a list. So you used to store multiple item in a single variable. Order, it has a order like so. First time is 0. So the first element has the index 0 or position 0. Second element has index 1. Third 2. Changeable. You can change. You can change like you can change the value apple, banana. You can also delete and remove and add. You can also like allow duplicate values. Same, the first time it has index 0, second has index 1. So here, so you can go here. I can maybe take the first element 1, make it a string. Hello. Done. So yeah, so I can duplicate. I can simply change a value, right? Now add some duplicate value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. So here, same thing. There's like one more thing here I want to talk. So you can use something like duplication operator here. I type 3 here. You can get like a yeah. So maybe make it done. So if I take the list and multiply by 3, it simply mean take a list and combine it 3 times into one list. So you can do in Python actually this thing. Multiply any list by some number. It will take a list and but like you take a list, make 3 copy or that many copy and combine to one list. If I make maybe 10 or 10 copies. First copy, second, third, fourth, 10 copy in just one. So this is like you can do in a Python. So if you like access something, maybe you can access 3. So it's 0, index 1, and 2. So index 2, run, you get 3. So again, the list can be changed. You can change the list if you want, like here. You can access a list because it has an index. Also, you can add duplicate value in a list, this Python list. So accessing item in a list. So again, the same thing. Just keep get access item. Same stuff. Start from 0. Index is 0, double 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. You can sort of return a range of characters using a slice syntax, same as string. So how you do it? Same stuff. I'm gonna start with 0. Let's remove this line here. And I want maybe 1, 3. So 4, 0, 3. So yeah. So 0, 3. It's between 0 element 1 and 2. Run it. 1, 2, 3. You can also slice a list into one more list if you want. You can like take a list out from a list. You can do it this way. So same stuff again. Yeah, so you go to the whole. So maybe start with 2, start with 3, go to 4, 5. Same stuff. Same as string. You can do whatever you want here. Add value here. If you don't add value here, go to the end. If I don't add value here, add here. So it means start from the start, 0, go to 3, 0, 1, 2. You go here. Same stuff. Same as string. You can change item in list. Same. Because also you can like slice text to change multiple value at once. So you can simply go here. Let me say I want to change like this all for 3 element. I use now 0. Let's be here. Yep. 0 start from 0, go to 3. So 0, 1, 2, right? Equal our list. Now add maybe hello here and maybe uh this thing. Yeah. Done. I got it. So when you can slice, you can use the syntax to also like to have multiple value, to simplify multiple value at once in a list. So here I simply said take 0, 1 and second, this 3 element equal to this, simply assign this value to them. So I assigned all 3 value in once. Now I have 3 element here, only 3, 1, 2 and 3. So if I like assign more value, I've assigned maybe 10 and true. I have only 3 element here, but I have 5 values. Run. They get added as well. So first we add these 3 value, displace the element, then we also add more value here as well. Then but if I have like only one, let's say I'm picking 1, 2, 3 and only giving only one value to them. It can replace them all. Simply it took all 3 elements and replaced with the hello. So this way. So you can add more and you can also remove with the slice syntax in a list here. Okay, I have any question here. So then we have done access and we're going to remove. Yep, removing. So how to remove a element from a list. And so to remove an element, you can like also use this thing slice index. You can so there are a lot of method. So first one is dot remove. Simply remove. So like print again. Hey, yeah. But like I want to remove 4. Write the 4 here. Run. Simply. It remove. Simply add the value that you want to remove here. You remove the value. Pop. Remove the last value. Pop. You can also you can use this thing. You can use as for index here. So let me say if it's a maybe I want to remove second element. So I will write 1, the index value 1, run, remove that value away. So this is a way you can use remove a value. Yeah, let's also some other way. You can use DL delete keyword. So delete a the value you want, maybe let's say this thing, the third element. So 2, run, delete the third element. You can also delete a whole list if you want. We delete a whole list with this thing. Delete keyword, then the variable name. Because you either can like delete an element list, or you can delete the whole list with delete keyword. Last is clear. So if you want a clear list but not delete it, so you can use clear, simply a dot clear. So delete keyword, delete the whole list away. Clear simply delete the whole element in a list or this item in a list. So that's removing now again. Now if else statement. So how to do if else here? I can write a whole, just write a whole code again. So now main stuff about Python. If right, if 10 get true. So if statement is mostly used to is a condition. So if 10 is bigger than 2, execute this code here. Python doesn't have a block. Python doesn't also use semicolon. It doesn't use a curly bracket. Block it doesn't use this thing, a curly bracket we use in other language. In Python, simply after writing here, you need to use at least one space here to define a block. If I like right here, hello, click it, it run. If I like have no space here, run, I get an error. You need at least one space. You can go whatever you want. You can go more if you want, but there should be at least one space here. One. So this if this condition is true, print this thing. Now if you want like else if, there will be elif here. So maybe and is so let's make this condition false first. It's false now. Yeah, actually. So now this is false. It will not execute. Now we're gonna execute this thing. So here, print. I think I need to write this. So this is the whole syntax they need right way. Yeah. So Python doesn't use like a curly braces. So you need to use space a lot. So here it's when it says also one more thing. So if I use print, I type one more thing, print here, or maybe print again hello, maybe hello here. I will give too much space here. Type run, will not happen. So each time you define any block, you define a block for anything, class, if, function, you need to use space for it. You need at least one space for here, like to define a block, and every time the block should have equal space. So this is like the first block for this if condition. It's like this much space here. The second block here. The both should have equal amount of space here. If I like have more here, click run, I get error. Now run here. Hello there, it work. Last here, else print anything here. If condition I'm gonna make this false now. Run. So yeah. And if this is true, print this stuff here. Again, space. At least one space here. Else if this is true, print this thing. One space, equal space, and at least one space here. Else again, same thing. Python doesn't use curly braces, it uses space to force block and everything. So yeah. So that's if else statement. While loop. So same stuff. While loops are same. So first define a variable like 3. Then define while. Let's say less than 3. Then 0 here. It will work. Same here. List one space here should be here. Now I type maybe print hello here, and a plus equal to 1. 2 minus here minus. So I give I a 3 value. I say that if I is bigger than 0, print this. Each time it will go like it will get decremented every once the while loop execute. So first 3, then get so execute it, then it go to 2, execute again hello, then it go to 1, execute again, get 0. So while same stuff, condition here and a block here. We don't have do while in Python. So we only have while. We don't have do while. One more stuff here. So in Python we have also else or while loop. So if your condition not true, you can write something here. So as this has to get executed when this condition become false. So you can use else with while and for loop. So yeah, same as language condition should be here. A colon block, define a block with space here. Then when this condition become false, else execute this code. So this is a while loop in Python. Again, while loop is actually the else is actually optional, so you don't need it, but you can have it. Like as long as we don't have it else, so it's like optional but can be used. That's while loop, not a for loop. We don't have a do while loop, but we have for loop here. So in Python, a for loop is more simply a way to iterate or simply go over or to loop over some sequence or some collection. So it's very simple. Let's build a collection, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For loop in Python simply is used to go over a collection. For every I in A in this collection, print Mia, hello, same. So like in the language Java, you also we have some time a condition here. So other condition like we have a start index condition increment. The for loop in Python is more like for each. It's simply used to go over some collection. Also it has else. You can use else here. Else here print done. So execute it. This condition got false. We go like we loop over every element. Print done. So this is how it work. So a function. So function again a block code which get run when you call it. You can pass some data parameter to function and the function can return some data. This is how we define a function. So let's go here and to define function use diff function name. So my function, any name you want, something here, colon, the block, print, hello. Yep. To just call the function here, run, hello. How it work? So this is how it work. The function we use diff, a keyword to define a function. Diff your name, variable name, whatever you want, parenthesis, colon, the space for block, define it, call it. To for any parameter, simply write here maybe name. I'm gonna pass something. So here plus string, so it can go. So here. So you can also define any parameter here. Simply define a name. So over done. So here I call a function with this argument. This value go to this parameter. It printed this value. So that's how function work in a Python. So also you have something called a keyword argument. So let me see, I have lot of name here. So let me have name 1. name 2, name 3. Okay. So I'm gonna also print all name here. With name 2 and name 3. So first I need to like give a lot of name here and maybe check and work. So in go to name 1, check go to name 2, John go to name 3. What if I like want John to be name 1? So here simply type this name, parent name, name 1 for John. Let's make the Jack name 3. Name 2 will begin now. Run it. Work. So you can actually do some mapping. You can map parameter value here with argument in the call. I simply say the name 2 should be kin. So this thing now go here. Name 3, Jack. So it go here. Name 1, John go here. If we don't use this like mapping, so we need always we need to define like we need to like define the order. Now we don't need an order. Like the kin is here, the name 2. The John is like at the bottom, the first name. So this again a way a mapping. It's called keyword argument. You can use key and value syntax to give some value. This so this should be same. This parameter name should match here. They should match here. So one more, the default parameter value. So let's go here again. So let me say some I don't want like pass any value for name 1. Okay. So if like sometimes I don't want to pass, so I can use something called Jack, name Roger, Sam. Yep. So here. I will call the function again one more time. Yes. I think it's default. So this is a default value. Like when we don't call the function with this parameter, we can use this value, a default value. Sam and here. No, this one I'm calling the value with the value. Okay. I'm gonna call this function without any value. So I will run. So here. When I call this function without any value, it will get executed. The serial name 1 has a default value Sam. We're going to use this value here, the default value. So whenever we call a function without that parameter, we simply don't pass argument to the parameter, or simply don't give the value to the parameter, it can use the default value if you assign it. If I like don't assign the default value, I will get an error. If I like do this way, still you can assign some like I can assign test here. So here I give it a test. So simply don't use this mapping. So you go to first parameter, name 1. So name 1 is test. Now it is use the Sam. But if I like erase it again, run it, Sam. You're gonna use the Sam now. So this one is actually a default parameter value. We can define default value for the parameter. We call the function without any argument. Simply we call the function without any value. It uses the default value. So that's it. So the last thing, the paradigm. So in this workshop, I simply talk about the most function. Like I mostly talk about the variable data type list function. So I'm not going to like talk about the object-oriented programming in this workshop. So Python is a multi-paradigm language. So a paradigm is simply a way you can organize your code and solve some problem. So Python has like multiple ways you can code something to do something in Python. The two main paradigms in Python are object-oriented programming and functional programming. So I talk about the function, this function, how they work. So in a function program, we simply function, but we use a function with some more stuff or some something called a lambda calculus. So Python has multiple paradigm. In this workshop, I mostly focus on the some part of function programming. So function is not about writing functions; it's about writing function in some a specific way. So in this workshop, I will only talk about the function programming, some part of it. In the next workshop, I will talk about the OOP, object-oriented programming, like how to write object. In Python, you can write class. You can write class. You can write class like this way. Here, this class. Just write function. Multiple language like Java, you can never write function outside. I can't not ever like, write like public void a function here. It doesn't work this way. Java is also multi-pattern language, but actually it supports object-oriented programming a lot. In Java, everything, pretty much most things are object. I can never define a function outside a class. But with Python, you can do it. You can define a function out of the class. You don't need a class a lot of time, actually. So yeah. So in this workshop, I mostly talk about a function programming. So I didn't like focus on the object-oriented programming. So in the next workshop, I'll talk about the next paradigm, next way to write code in Python. That's actually to use object and classes. And that's it. So again, any question?
Thank you so much, Daljit. That was pretty incredible workshop.
Yeah.
You explained everything in details. Thank you so much. Any questions from our attendees? Feel free to post them in the chat. Okay, so I think I can stop the recording now.